Welcome to Real Superpowers. I'm your host, Ryan Enohost. Today, this special episode is on the real power of the mind. You see, the mind is the most mysterious but powerful force in the universe, next to the creation and the reason of, which we just don't know. The mind is the force behind all of those unbelievable stories that you hear from someone going from broke to a billionaire guru, or removing a car or a tree off of your loved one. With enough intention and belief, the mind has the ability to heal, to change the whole dynamics of any experience. To quote a parable from the Bible, it says, "With the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain." Literally, that parable is true with enough belief behind the mind. From the Bhagavad Gita to the Bible to any belief, there's all sorts of parables and stories behind the power of the mind. Now, today we're going to talk about a few powerful tools that we can use to empower us and quiet that inner chatter and not be so hard on ourselves. Because that inner critic can be a force to be reckoned with if we don't work alongside with it instead of fighting it. Now, the key in all of this is to work alongside it rather than fight it, because fighting it is exhausting and it can be a never-ending uphill battle. The first powerful tool I want to share with you guys today is called the thought interception. The thought interception is a great method to use to overcome that jeering monkey mind. You're constantly having a day where you're just beating yourself up, and it becomes more counterproductive at that point in time. But a thought interception is going to help improve and soften the blows of that mind critic and be able to quiet that mind chatter when it's most important. It is just like it sounds, the thought interception. Whenever you have a disempowering thought come in, you're going to change that to a new creative, empowering thought. You're going to go about your day more focused, showing up as your best self, and rewrite your story to be the hero in your saga. And that's what Real Superpowers is all about. Tips, tricks, hacks, and real-life stories of real-life situations to show up, be the best versions of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. So thought interceptions, for example, if you say you don't like the way you look or you think you look ugly, you're going to go in the mirror and say, "I love myself. I have work to do, but I love who I am, and I really am going to go about this day being the best version of myself I can be." See, the important part behind this is not to try to be like somebody else. There's nobody in the world like you. You're special, you're important, you're extraordinary the way you are. The more you do your thought interceptions, the better you'll get at it. You'll condition yourself to where that inner critic lightens up and that inner mind chatter quiets down. And you are ultimately the one taking the wheel and in charge, which is a good segue to the next tip, which is the mind co-pilot. Like I was speaking about with journaling, you want to write down your emotional states so you get a better idea of where that emotion comes from, what memory it's tied to, or what incident happened in your life that makes you have that kind of emotion. Whenever you feel your mood change or your state of mind, write it down and label that give it a character name or some kind of name so you can identify it for whenever it surfaces. Writing down your feelings is very important. Do that on a daily basis. Journal at the end of your day on your wins, where you could improve. The co-pilot concept is a good reminder that emotional state or thoughts are just a relative of how you're feeling and who you really are. You're the one flying the plane. You're the all-star. You're the producer, the director, the star actor, the critic, and the audience. At different times, it'll help if you put yourself in different roles, because you can't always be the producer. Sometimes that can be exhausting. But ultimately, if your emotional state is taking the best of you, the co-pilot concept is a good placement to use to remember that you are in charge, and those emotions are just somewhere in your story telling you, hey, this has happened before, or something similar to this that has occurred, and it's coming up and surfacing and making you feel a certain type of way. Or possibly there's an emotion you have not dealt with fully and need to have to do some work. Like I said, conditioning is the key, so you want to use these techniques on a day-to-day basis. Identifying your emotions will help you to be able to recognize those emotional triggers and to be able to put yourself back in charge again. Mind Copilot is the second powerful tool. Remember that emotional state, it was there to protect you most likely, or there's a reason behind it. Find the powerful resources within that emotion. Put yourself back in charge. Use the emotion rather than trying to fight it, because your day will be a struggle and the fight is an uphill battle. Okay, so on to the next powerful tool, which is mind burpees. So mind burpees is an exercise you can use whenever you exhausted your other resources and you really just need to change your whole perspective for that day. We're going to do that by making a list of all of the things in your life that you admire and adore the most. So we're going to start with the people in your life who mean the most to you. Your friends, your family, everyone that you love and care for. And then next, you're going to go to your characteristics and traits about yourself that you really like. Things that you're good at, things you like to do. Also, you're going to go ahead and touch on good memories and things that put you in a place of awe and just make you feel good when you go back and think of it. When you complete that list, that's going to be something you will hold near and dear to you, because if you exhaust all your other resources and you still have that inner dialogue going on, or stressed out, and you've tried other ways to overcome it and you still have not succeeded, time to put the work in and do some mind burpees. Uploading a new program. Say, for example, you're having a bad day at work and your boss is really on you about your deadline, and you're having a bad day because your coworkers took your idea and your perspective on things just are not going well. Your emotional state's not in a good place. We're going to shift that by uploading a new program. We're going to look at it in a lens with clarity, with empowerment, realizing you are a force to be reckoned with, and you can overcome this obstacle like you have any ones in the past. First part of this, to upload a new program, you're going to take a list and write down the top 10, 20, however many you can come up with. A list of things to be grateful for. Your list of gratitude is a very, very empowering tool which will shift your perspective as well, kind of like the mind burpee. But the list of gratitude will remind you why you woke up this morning and what your goals are, and to keep you back on track and align you with your focus. So make your list of gratitude from A to Z, and that'll help shift your perspective. You can also look at it in a lens of my coworker taking my idea, and my boss really is on me because he has high expectations of me. My coworker knows that I'm very brilliant and good at what I do, or he wouldn't take my ideas. And this is just going to make me more resilient and stronger. I'm going to get through this like I've gotten through anything in the past. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. And there's always a silver lining, so there's light at the end of this tunnel as well. We're going to get through this. You change your perspective, you uploaded a new program, and now you're going to go on this and tackle it head on. The last powerful tip is a preventative measure. Preventative measure is when you play out a story in your head, can see the outcome for good or for bad. Preventative measure is to help you avoid making mistakes, which we're all going to make mistakes regardless. It's going to happen. It's a part of life. The important part is to learn from those mistakes. But to help dampen that blow and not make such harsh mistakes, preventative measures is to play out the story in your head. So say you go out with some coworkers, you guys have a couple drinks, and you get invited to a little after shindig. And there's someone you're attracted to, but they're doing some illegal activities, and you don't want to take part of it because it could ruin your life. So you play that story out in your head and realize, okay, yeah, this person's attractive, and they're not going to think I'm cool. This person's attractive, and they're not going to think I'm cool if I leave. But how could this play out if I stay? It could end up in a bad relationship, for a unexpected pregnancy, with a mind-ruining addiction, with a life-ruining addiction, and possibly going to jail. Play out the story in your head and realize play out the story in your head, get yourself back on track, and realize this preventative measure I'm taking is to go home or leave from here and get back on track with my goals, so tomorrow I wake up feeling good about myself and knowing I followed my gut and my values and did what I knew what was right. Staying in line with your values is very essential. Otherwise, within the mind, your inner critic can be harsh on you, especially if you do something you know you're not supposed to do. Then you're going to just bash yourself and beat yourself up constantly, like, why did I do that for? I'm such an idiot. I knew better than that. To avoid getting in those situations, preventative measure is very important. Play out the story. It's a cognitive tool that you can use to play it out all the way and prevent yourself from getting in a mess. So a little recap of what we talked about today is the little recap of all we talked about today is thought interceptions. Very good. You want to intercept those negative empowering. You want to thought interceptions. You're going to intercept those disempowering thoughts with a new creative empowered thought. Also, mind burpees. Very great exercise. Write down the list for all of your good experiences, characteristics, and traits and things you like about yourself, and read that list anytime you're having a struggle. Upload a new program. You're going to upload your new program, change your lens and perspective so you actually are not struggling like you were, and go in with a new head-on challenging perspective. Upload a new program. You're going to go on and tackle the new situation with a new perspective and a new program, a new lens, and be the best version of yourself that you can be. Preventative measures. You're going to take on preventative measures to avoid doing things that would cause you to eventually have that inner critic say all sorts of things about you and to yourself that you really don't want to say, and that's just going to disempower you and cause you to not feel good about yourself, and cause you to not feel so good about yourself. So let's avoid that. And I'm going to show you guys a breathing exercise just to help you with your really struggling moments. I'm going to share a breathing exercise with you guys for when you're really struggling. You've tried all your powerful tools. You just need to hit the reset button. This is a good way to start any of your days. This is a good tool to use anytime before you use other tools I've shared with you, or after, but I would recommend doing it before, so you go into it with clarity and a better approach. You're going to breathe in through your nose. You're going to fill up your stomach like a balloon. And you're going to breathe out of your mouth. Until you completely empty your balloon. You want to expel all of the air out of your stomach completely. So when you go in through your nose, out with your mouth, until you can't push any more air out of your stomach. Do that 3 times. It's going to shift your mood. give you a better emotional state, and let you tackle any of these exercises and tools with a better lens, and help you to upload a program, intercept your thoughts, to do your mind burpees, or just do any kind of preventative measures with a great outlook and be the best version of yourself. Remember, the reason behind this channel for Real Superpowers 88 is to show up as your best self, be the best version of you can be. Ultimately, you are in control. So work alongside with that mind chatter, and I hope you guys find these powerful tools very useful. Incorporate them in your daily life. Life is conditioning. The more you do something, the better you get at it. You don't just go to the gym and bench press one or two times, or do 1 or 2 crunches and have a body that you want. You actually have to put the work in and do this every day. It will get easier. The mind critic will lighten up, and the mind chatter will quiet down. Thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe. I'm looking to get 10,000 subscribers, so show me some love. Remember, everybody, to find your light and stay shining. This has been a Real Superpower production.